everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with a flip through video for you of the first journal that I've made for a while since getting back from vacation here. I've just been kind of working on this in the background for the last, I guess, couple weeks now, and I'm just calling it Sweet Spring Adventure. So this journal uses my March Journal Together kit that I provide to my Patreons on a monthly basis. It's an eclectic kit of images that I myself illustrate, edit, design, do in many different ways, and also vintage finds, things that I scan that are very old, that are no longer in like copyright kind of, and yeah, just eclectic kind of things. So let's just jump into this big book. So this is a fabric cover. It is a 5 signature journal. Yes, 5 signatures. And I've really been enjoying making these patchwork covers. So this is a patchwork cover. This is what's different about it, in that it has this little hole here that goes through the cover. And this has all been crocheted out of my hand spun yarn that has some lace in it. And up here there's some of my botanically dyed fabric. You can see the leafy bits there. There's some nice crochet pillowcase trim, lots of little fun patches of this and that. I've covered the spine with some beautiful lace that I got in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. A little bit of paper scrap there, and then some lacy bits on the outside. There are some metal eyelets going through both of the covers to allow me to thread this beautiful vintage seam binding. It's kind of a champagne color right through so that you can tie it up. So there's the hole there. And on the inside is this really sweet, like petite floral fabric. You know, if you wanted to, you could washi tape something here, like a picture of someone or what have you. But so I didn't get too complicated with the first page in case you would want something specific to peek through. But it is a beautiful botanical from a Flowers of the World book. It's a vintage botanical book. Then on the next page, these are 2 images from my kit. This is like a lovely black panther here with some roses all around him, and then this is a vintage postcard, and we have some script back here and some botanicals, just a hand-dyed yellow page with a little purple label. This paper is from the paper Cameo on Etsy, part of her botanical kit. This is a very old page that I've added from an old I want to say it was 1915, I think, the Dykes car manual. And then we have this piece of lace. It's like a fabric flip with some of my hand-dyed red paper underneath. And then this little kind of double pocket here. And I added 2 different children's book pages into this journal. So this is a little French book. I forget the name of it. Do I still have the cover? I think so. Hold on. I kept the cover. It's Hélène et le bouquet d'anniversaire. So it's by Katerina Cruiseful. So really cute images, and also some really lovely French text. So you'll see these pages throughout of Hélène. And here we have another vintage postcard image from my kit. I love these little acorns with the faces. Oh, they're so cute. So journal card, just some nice aqua paper. This is some very old calendar from an old newspaper and some stenciling. This is the flap of an envelope. These 2 images are both from my kit. This one is so cute. It was a vintage postcard that you could put your nose through and you could hold it up, and it's really funny. And a little fabric tab there. There's a tab in each of the 5 signatures that move down, so they're kind of like, you know, actual tabs. And then I just added on for some interest some of this beautiful vintage garden book index page. It has all sorts of garden terms on it, which I thought was nice for spring. The other children's book that I added to this was an older copy of Bambi, because I just love the images. They're beautiful. I'll show the cover to you. One moment. It's from this old copy of Bambi. And then this is the center of the first signature with all the frogs from Bambi. So cute with the otters. And then more of that garden book and some lovely yellow lace down the side. This is an envelope that I coffee dyed. This is one of my images from the kit, as is this one that I made a journal card out of. This is a little automotive technical drawing and some stenciling. Rusty paper clip there holding this large journal card. This is my Rat Queen. This is from the kit. And there's Hélène. And over here, this is actually a greeting card that I thought was so beautiful, and I added this Tim Holtz label up here. And it's a little side pocket, and this is from my kit. This is an old receipt, like a mail receipt that I scanned from some old ephemera that I have. More hand-dyed paper, stenciling, and just fun bits of collage. Old book page. Another page from the Botanica kit from the Paper Cameo, and some of my hand-dyed paper. This image and this image are both from my kit. This is a journal tag. We just have some collaging in the background. This belly band is made with one of the images from my kit, and this is another. I was doing a feminine floral kind of study and added some of the flower book paper back there. And then this is some really nice watercolory scrapbook paper, and I added this pocket here made from an old greeting card, and this is another fabric tab, and this is another image from my kit, and I've stitched some lace and fabric up top. A little journal card, and then a fold over pocket from that same paper. And then, oh, this is also a pocket. We need something in there, don't we? Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab something real quick. Well, relatively quick, right? I had to run to my ephemera box. So this is a little tag that I've made. It says, on the edge of a great forest, rays of the morning sun, a babbling brook to explore, apple cores, squash seeds. And I think that will go sweetly in that pocket. This is one of the quotes from my kit. It's by William Shakespeare. It says, daffodils that come before the swallow dares and take the winds of March with beauty. And that little journal card just pops in there. This is some children's writing paper. This little gnome with these pots here are from my kit, and he is on some fun fabric from a vintage children's dress, and this is just some beautiful scrapbook paper. This little deer is a journal card from my kit. It's kind of a little magical ethereal deer. And then just a little bit of vintage botanical paper here, and some hand-dyed paper. This is another page from Bambi, and more from the Botanica kit, and some stenciling. Just some nice buttery yellowy orange paper. I thought it went nicely with this piece of ephemera from my kit. This is a journal card, and this is some book page from the Hélène book, and a little pocket, and this image are both from my kit. This is one of my little creatures here. This was from the Mass Make March series when I was doing laminated cards. So this one I used it kind of like a belly band. There's actual plants inside here that are dried. And inside I added some of the tickets that I made also from Mass Make March. And I just thought that they were kind of cute. They could just kind of poke right on through the side here, and they could hang out just a little bit but still be inside the book. And some beautiful blue thatched paper, and this is the center of the second signature. This is just lovely vintage wallpaper, or sorry, not wallpaper, wrapping paper. And I just left it alone. I thought if you want to do something with it, you can. If you want to write on it, you can. It's just pretty. And then another page from Hélène with that lovely piece of cake there, and then that pretty floral paper. more of that yellowy orange paper with some nice sort of mint green lace down the side. Some stenciling. Another page from Bambi here of Thumper. Little Bambi sleeping in the woods. More hand-dyed paper. This is a coffee-dyed page from like a large tree book, and this talks about the different types of forests. And then this is one of the images from my kit on this lacy paper. This is from a vintage photograph. This was also part of my kit. It's one of the photographs in my collection that I've scanned, made into a large journal card, and added some vintage coffee dyed lace up top. More children's writing paper. And then this little pocket here, it's on more of that lovely watercolor scrapbook paper that I folded over to make a pocket. And there are two pieces from my kit here, this Lady of the Lily Pads and this tag. And then that little chickie you see there with the egg is also from my kit, and it is on some old book spine, some stenciling there. This is a pocket that I made from a vintage children's book image of these pretty dandelions and some fabric. And this is one of the notepads that I made as part of Mass Make March. And then this bee paper is so beautiful. It's from Shabby Dabby Doodah. This little tuck spot here is from my kit. So is this other little ethereal deer. And it's all on hand-dyed paper. Stenciling over here. And then this is like a double tuck spot of flowers. These are both from my kit, as is this gnome. It's like a little freeform journal card. And then this is another of the little quotes. This one's like a little journal card. You could also stick it somewhere if you'd like. It's a Christina Rossetti quote. As violets, recluse and sweet, cheerful as daisies, unaccounted, rare, still sunward gazing from a lovely seat, still sweetening wintry air. And then a little snippet of just pretty paper with this bird and some stenciling, some hand-dyed paper with a little snippet from my kit. More of Hélène with this pretty little feed sack fabric tab. These are all made from feed sack that I got in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This is just some watercolor stationery paper. This is a little pocket I made from scraps and a little leaf here. This image is from my kit. I've made a journal card from it. It was a vintage postcard. This is from the Botanica kit from the paper cameo. It took me a minute there. I'm having a brain cramp. This is another quote from Charles Dickens from my kit. It was one of those days when the sun shines hot and the wind blows cold, when it is summer in the light and winter in the shade. And then another of our lily pad girls here. This was a little project that I worked on. And then this is one of the document holders from Mass Make March no, this was actually not Mass Make March. This was from Roxy's weekly challenge. So these are like little document books. So it's made with vintage botanical book page on the outside, and then on the inside just some different kinds of random documents. So this one has a pattern for doing embroidery. It has an old life insurance invoice from 1979. It has some watercolor shibori paper, and yeah, it's just got fun stuff. And that just folds up there. And then this is some jute, and it just goes around this braided bit of paper here. And that just tucks back up on in here. There we go. Actually, no, I did this wrong. Like, this seems a little longer than it should be. It first wraps around, I think. Yeah, and then it comes back and goes through. Silly me. Always messing up what I'm doing with my ephemera here. There we go. That's better. And this is just some ledger paper with red tables. This is another page from Bambi. This is here, book club edition. And some more hand-dyed paper. This little envelope is from my kit. And this is just a journal card that I made in my spare time. It has a Plotinus quote here. It says, "Beauty is rather a light that plays over the symmetry of things than that symmetry itself." And it's on Tim Holtz People. And this is just a beautiful page from this really cute book. I forget the name. It was like the Chipmunk on 3rd Street or something. And it was all about the adventures of this really cute chipmunk. I've used it in a few different journals now. And we also have the crow here picking around in the leaves. More hand-dyed paper and another page from Bambi. Those cute little possums. Some of the washi tape from my kit. More of that ledger paper and a little image of a cactus from a vintage encyclopedia. Some stenciling. More of the Botanica paper from the paper Cameo. These two images, this person sort of emerging out of the leaves, and this very starry queen are from my kit. This just pops in this pocket, and there's like a little paper leaf here. More of the watercolor paper and Hélène. And some green paper that I dyed. This is an alphabet. This is from an Amity Bloom ephemera kit. I forget which one. Some pretty scrapbook paper and dyed paper. This image is from my kit. And then this is a journal card that I made with the scraps from the scrapbook paper I used in this book. And then I just stitched some embroidered sari on top and backed it with hand-dyed paper. More of the stenciling. This leafy stencil is a theme throughout the journal, which you probably have noticed. More of the Shabby Dabby Doodah paper and some lace. And then some nice wide lace here that's like a side tuck spot for this Norman Gale quote that's also from my kit. Underneath, serener skies. What a revel's coming soon. Fairies chirping o'er the leaves, making magic by the moon. Coring with the wood I can read. Anemones, what a haunted heart the thrush. Nurses in the blackthorn bush, full of splendid songs to sing. Cheery welcomes of the spring. Spring is come. So there's that. This is another washi tape here from my kit. This is another digital page. Here's some Richard Scarry down here, just because I love Richard Scarry, and if I have an opportunity to plug a little into a book, I will. A Caroline May quote from my kit as well. March, when days are getting long, let thy growing hours be strong to set right some wintry wrong. So it's kind of like a little hello to spring, goodbye to winter. And this little photograph of these children, this is also from my kit, from my collection of vintage photography. I've added some paper back here that's metallic and then stitched on some fabric and a little piece of applique. This space themed journal card is also from my kit. It's on this pink paper. Then more of Hélène. More of the hand-dyed paper with this sunflower tab here. More of the Botanica kit with some stenciling. This is some nicely like off-white kind of vintage writing paper. Another page of Bambi. And this is from a vintage tree field guide of the tulip tree, which is one of my very favorite trees. The flowers are just incredible, and they have this sort of citrusy smell to them that's like, oh, it's just amazing. It's almost like mango. And then another envelope flap here. This pocket and this little journal card are both from my kit, and this is some scrapbook paper. A little collage here with a butterfly, and this little paper applique that has some beading on it, some stenciling. This little tuck spot, it needs something. I missed again. 1 second, I gotta get something. Hold up. Really tempted. I want to use this. Yeah, let's use this. This was a tag that I just made actually from a video I did from my Your Creative Studio, and I just think that the colors are very nice, and it's also quite springy, and there's some fun stitching and buttons and things, so it's just a nice little add in there. This little bird is an image from my kit, as is this woman swept up in these leaves here. These are both from my kit, and this is a journal card. I did some stitching here, and it just tucks in this dyed envelope. Little turtle here, and more of the bird field guide. Another page from Bambi. So cute. I love Flower the skunk. This was a little snippet from a vintage children's book. This is another quote from my kit from Mary Mapes Dodge. In the snowing and the blowing, in the cruel sleet, little flowers begin their growing far beneath our feet. That's totally my vibe right now. Spring is coming. And another quote from my kit from Ruby Archer. Do the pine trees have a yearning for a respite? Oft I wonder, from the lightning's jagged burning, and the shaking of the thunder. I'm so bad at reading today. I'm a little sleepy. It's been a wild week back so far. More of Hélène and some pink paper. This is a pocket that I made. So these were images from like a floral card that's a part of my kit. This little stamp is a part of my kit. This is some scrapbook paper, but often what I do is, you know, I cut things up and I do all different things with them. So I made this kind of freeform pocket. This is another image from my kit, and I added some hand-dyed fabric up top to make it into a nice little journal tag. Some coffee dyed paper, more Richard Scarry, and some more washi tape from my kit. These are all from my kit as well. This was a scan of some beautiful chalk drawings that I bought recently at an auction, and this little pocket and this little bird are both my illustrations from my kit. So is this little bird. And more of Hélène, and then this little pocket here, it has an image from my kit of these floral, they're like ikebana flowers kind of, and a little leaf on the envelope, and it's a tuck spot for this illustration of this beautiful iris. This was also a drawing that I purchased, so I have the original. It's on a page with Hélène here kind of running away with these flowers. And then this was how to do the alphabet in, is it Morse code maybe? In sound, I forget. It's from like an encyclopedia, vintage encyclopedia. So I just used it as kind of a glue down that goes over the page. This is another tab here. This mushroom image as well as this image are both from my kit. And I've added some organza up top. This is like a collage, you know, paper pocket at back. And then I've added some of this fun woven jute. This is some stenciling. This is some old writing paper. And I've added, ledger paper rather, and I've added a washi from my kit. This paper, I forget whose digital this is. I've added some music paper up here and more of the vintage tree field guide, the Canyon Live Oak and the sassafras trees. Some yellow paper and this little heart. This is more of my hand-dyed paper in like a purpley color. More of Bambi, squirrel. There's Bambi and Thumper. Some little blue paper. This is some of more of that chipmunk children's book page. Oh, we have another pocket that needs something. I've been so amiss this time. Hold on. Hold on. We're going to get something. In some ways, this is kind of fun. Oh, that's an envelope. We can't use that. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, I'm coming. So here's, this is actually a color photo from a vintage garden guide, like a seed guide of all these pretty irises, and I backed it with some vintage photo album. I think that goes in there beautifully. Okay, Then this is a vintage book page I made a pocket out of with an images from my kit, the little bird and the egg. And this is another image from my kit of my bear there. Another page from Bambi. Another hand-dyed paper. This is a little paper applique. Sweet gum tree and mulberries, one of my favorite trees. Some music paper. Again, I forget whose digital this is. This is more ledger paper, more stenciling. This is another of those chalk drawings from my kit, from the images that I purchased that were original drawings. This is an image from my kit. It's watercolor landscape, and it's a piece of stationery with my dyed paper on the back. Some more dyed paper. Another page of Hélène. And the last little orange page there. And then we have this little ribbony kind of pocket at the back. And it has this sweet children's book image of this sun. And this is actually from a story about the little pine tree, I think is what it's called. And it's about like how this little pine tree kind of got bored in the woods, and he looked up to all the other trees that got to become Christmas trees. And then finally it was his turn, but then he learned what happens to Christmas trees. But then he kind of learns the value of his life. And yeah, it's a lovely little story. So that is the end of this little spring journal. Not so little, but Sweet Spring Adventure. This book will be headed up to my shop, which is linked down below, my Etsy shop. And I'm so glad to be back with you making books. I have missed it so much. Being away a couple of weeks from like actually making journals was really tough. So I will talk to you again very soon. Have a great day, and bye for now.